Informed, outspoken, wild, fearless. This is the Fantasy Football Dudes Podcast.
What is up, my dudes? This is Trent with the Fantasy Football Dudes Podcast. I am joined by Phil, Jordan, and Seth. Today we are going to preview all of the conference championship games, break down the recent Jim Harbaugh hiring, and more. But while the play clock's counting down, let's hurry up and huddle up with my favorite dudes. Phil, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good. I am, just being my normal self. We got a lot to talk about today. Mostly
he's ready to snap the ball to you, Trent.
Interpersonal conversation about to go down. Trent, Seth.
Shotgun.
Well, I'm curious, Trent, did you say play clock or what exactly did you say there?
He did say play clock.
I said play clock. I missed.
I misheard. I misheard something else.
I don't try and
buzzer beater.
What are you talking about, Mr. Spineless? Don't try to throw me into the bus. Just if you say something, just step up and say it was you. This is the thing about 2024 is everyone's trying to shift blame and move away from things. If I say something that's wrong, I will take responsibility for it and I will step up. Unlike other people on this podcast, I'm doing well. No one let me answer the question. I'm doing well, feeling well. I haven't been running, just walking. My back is improving. Doing some push-ups, staying fit.
Was this like a year injury or what?
I don't know what it's like.
Dude, you sat in a chair. He sat in a chair like for 2 hours at a time, 2 weeks straight, and now he's been injured for a year.
Correct. And the problem is I still go out and roast Seth and football on Sundays, which is just wild.
Is this what's called getting old, Phil? Is that just called getting old or what?
Yeah. I'm 33, guys. I'm 33 and I look incredibly fit, but I don't always feel that way. And if you look good, you play good. You play good, you feel good. And those things are kind of backwards right now for me. But other than that, I'm doing okay. Just, there's a lot. Well, let's just jump into the huddle, Trent. Come on. Like, what are we doing here?
Phil, see, the huddle's grown on Phil. Phil's a
no, it hasn't.
Phil is a fan of the huddle.
I'm not. I'm in a group chat with Trent, and he changed the description of the name to the huddle, and I almost left. And it's just a message between him and me. So
that might be in a record amount of group texts.
He is the guy. I think the guy
is probably in 30 plus.
That should be true. Seth, that is so right. He is probably in 30.
Get a count for us and report back next week.
Yes. How many group chats are you in?
Easily over 40.
Okay.
That are active, Trent, that you text on a weekly basis in them?
Probably active, I'd say. Okay, 20. Yeah. Now that's different. Active and then chat. Yeah.
No. So take family ones out of it. If you have family members in it, cool, but take family
ones are like half of them.
Why? No, Phil, that's dumb. I just talking about active week. They're texted in weekly. An active week. Because, I might have 1 million in my phone that don't get texted in. Like, active on a weekly basis, like, how many get texted? How many?
I would say probably 17. I'll get a count back and figure that out.
We should all get counts and see who the winner is.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Phil probably's in 2, and I'm in half of those, so that's unfortunate for him.
Stupid. I'm in a couple. I am in a couple, and I will say group chats are Apple. They're the leading provider for group chats. I know people do the what do they do? The WhatsApp. Do you use WhatsApp, Trent? Is that what's one of the?
Yeah, I use WhatsApp.
Phil, do you know now that people with Android can get an app to make their text blue, so you can be part of group chats if you have an Android?
That's really good. If being texting in green is like one of the first signs that you don't want to go. Like you don't want to go on a date with a person. Like if you match with someone and you send them a text and it's in green, absolutely no brainer. You have to be out of that relationship. But people might be downloading the app, so you may be going into who knows what. You get to the dinner and you're dating an Android user. Like I don't know, like
they catfish you with a message. They're like, "Psych, I'm an Android user," and you're like, "Shoot,"
and you're like, "Well, you're
acting like you're interested." Oh crap! Holy smokes!
Seth's cramping up on the pod. Purrs up for Seth.
That Android conversation really got him going.
He has muted himself.
That might be a top 10 moment on the pod, and I never expected that from Seth. I expected the cramp and agony agony from the cramp from Trent. Never
Yes,
said.
Absolutely. Seth, I'm praying
That
for
guy's
you,
a
buddy,
walking
man. Like,
cramp.
if you're listening to this pod, prayers up for Seth. Phil's talking about family group. Seth has left the pod. Seth has left the pod. Mother of Mary, that looks painful. You know, once got
The guy's acting like
Mute him, Trent. Can you unmute him? I want to hear the screams.
Seth has unmuted himself. I don't know if I can unmute him because I'm trying to keep this thing rated G. If you, yeah,
he's
I cannot
acting
unmute
like
him.
he's in labor. He's acting like he's in
Yes.
labor. If you saw him,
To be fair, the time both of my calf muscles cramped up, I think that was probably worse than any labor that's ever happened. Any natural birth. It was
absolutely
that
no
bad.
way.
How do you know? Have you ever had both calves cramp
Actually,
up at the same time?
You know what? You're right. You've had an incredibly easy life. I could see how you would compare it to child labor. Coming from
All
you.
right, Seth,
Dude,
how we feeling?
I
big
just
guy?
sat back down and it came back. Like, what the?
I think you're
Dude,
getting
I haven't
smited
cramped this
for
bad
making
in
fun
like
of
a
Phil.
long time.
Yeah, that's what you
Yeah.
get for making fun of my
Well,
back.
bring that up, Phil or Seth. Before we get into the break huddle, Seth did run a 5-minute 25-second mile.
That's
today,
why he's
5:15
No, that was off by 20 seconds. It's 45.
5:45. Okay.
Yeah.
Trent's
Phil thought he
exaggerating
finished,
there.
10 Uncrustables in that time period. So that was both could. Two
Hey,
things could be
honestly,
true.
that would be more impressive.
It would be,
It
yeah.
would.
That's why I
the
was like,
peanut butter is hard to choke down.
Oh, yeah.
Like that's
There
probably
is
why
the
I'm
thing.
cramping. Honestly,
hey, there is the thing at a local pizza place in Visalia that I think us and maybe we should draft a couple of dudes. And it is a newer thing where you have to finish pizza and I think appetizers in like X amount of hours or like an hour, no bathroom breaks. And I think it would be really awesome if the pod and a few other dudes did it. It's a place called the Planing Mill. Has anyone heard of that or been there?
I think I've seen that challenge. The pizza's
You're
massive.
pretty hipster though, so no, I've never been.
Yes, you have, Trent.
I haven't. I promise.
Seth, that would be a fun. Speaking of getting guys together, Seth, bachelor party. I heard you guys rented a van and
Yeah. So my brother's getting married here in a few weeks. I'll probably miss the pod unless we do it before I leave. But my brother's getting married in March, so I'll be up in Oregon. He's getting married in around. Holy smokes! Ow!
You are a pathetic person. You are absolutely.
Anyways, I gotta
pathetic.
sit like this. So my brother-in-law has a van because he has like 20 kids, So I'm asked to use his van so we could go to paintball together. And there's like 9 other guys. So we go do paintball. It's pretty fun. I only got shot surprisingly like a couple times because we were there for 3 hours. I only got shot, I think, like 4 times, and like 3 of the times was in the head, so it didn't hurt at all, But like the one time I got shot, I got blasted in my leg. I got like welts all over my leg. But it was really fun. Thought we were gonna have to fight a couple dudes one time because these guys got all mad saying we were cheating and stuff. And anyways, they were really ghetto.
The guy's name Aaron? Because we had a listener that said he was going to light you up.
No, but actually, shout out to Aaron. The guy was like, yeah, but this guy next door, Aaron, he lets us use his forklift to like unload pallets of paintballs. So that was pretty cool. Shout out to
That's
Aaron.
cool. Yeah.
He said he gets to play some free games because he helps us out with deliveries and stuff. So that's cool.
listener of the pod.
Listener of the pod. Yeah.
Raiders
so Dude
correspondent.
Nation expands. So Dude Nation actually did something for you, Seth. It's your turn to do something for them.
It's true. Yeah. If I wasn't cramping, man, I'd sit up. But
imagine if you got into a fight with those dudes and cramped, you would have got smoked.
Dude, I don't know if I would have cramped. I don't think the only reason I'm cramping is because I actually ran hard, and I never run that hard, like ever. Like, I don't know. But anyways, those guys, I thought we were gonna have to fight them, and these guys were like,
is this a true story?
No, I'm serious. Like, true story. Like these
you
guys
got messed up.
Oh, I'm sure. Like, these guys were ghetto enough to like pull out knives in a fight, Like this is the kind of guys I'm talking about, So anyways,
Hey,
the
props to
situation
those guys.
calmed
If I
down.
see
We're
someone
like,
pull up in a van like that, I'm not messing with them.
well, the situation calmed down, because they like eventually cooled down and walked away because maybe they weren't actually like about that life. They just acted like it.
Oh my goodness.
Anyways, it was fun. We went back, had some dinner.
You are a great
watched the game at dinner. I was like half the guys there are 49ers fans, so like we were excited watching them lose most of the game. And then of course, like typical 49er fashion, they snake by, to the NFC Championship game. So anyway.
And he had a tomahawk. You want to give a shout out to the restaurant?
Oh,
Was
yeah.
it good? Did it turn out pretty good?
No, my brother actually didn't get a tomahawk, but one of my buddies.
What a simp.
I know he didn't want it. One of my buddies and he shared with another guy, so they got the tomahawk.
They shared a meal at a bachelor party?
Well, the tomahawk's huge, Phil.
Is this like tea and crumpets night?
This you guys got parties making you look like a straight A pansy, man.
I know you backed down from a fight,
sharing steaks.
Hey,
did you guys paint your nails?
I had a
after
whole
too?
14 ounce to myself. Okay.
Yeah.
I licked that plate clean. All right.
Okay.
Anyways.
So here's the deal. For one, Seth, you're kind of a jerk because you wouldn't have given Aaron a shout out if I didn't bring him up. So that's kind of a jerk move. Yeah,
you're probably right. I was actually meant to like talk about it, and I think if I would have put it in the group chat right when it happened, it would have gotten brought up. But I forgot.
You were afraid Aaron was going to come light you up like a Christmas tree. But with all that,
he probably
said,
was.
Guys,
Can I hold on? I need to interject something. I hate when Trent says 4-1 and he only has 1 point. If you are going to if you're going to start a list, have multiple points. Don't say 4-1.
Actual thing.
Don't say 4-1 and then that's all you're saying. Like have a follow up
for
point.
One of one.
Yeah. Just make your point. Don't start a list 4-1.
And let me say this too. I know Jordan's been on Trent about this, but Trent's been like, when we're like talking about getting on, Trent's always hoping to get on, like he's not hopping on, he's hoping to get on. I'm just like, bro, can we not?
Well, for one, Seth, the guy
I can't spell.
Hey, Seth, here's an idea. Sit up, show some good posture. You look like a bum on here. You're on a worldwide podcast. Either turn your camera down or sit up. There you go. Posture. It's everything, man. I'm trying to help you so you don't cramp up anymore.
90 degrees, otherwise.
Well, we have some other stuff. We know we have a superstar in our midst. I mean, he's live on a podcast at least once a week. Single, ready to mingle. Jordan, you were on live radio broadcast. I'm sure they had to get the bleep button ready for that. What ended up happening? How'd it go?
I think it was good. Just went and talked some high school hoops. So yeah, it was good. Shout out to Gabe Camarillo, ESPN 1430 in Fresno area. He has a daily show, Home Field Advantage. So appreciate him having me on. It was fun. I talked for about 15 minutes high school hoops, our local kind of playoff system and stuff. So it was fun.
How long was that segment, Jordan?
Like 50. I just said that, Phil. Like 15 minutes. 10-15 minutes.
That's pretty sweet. I love that.
Yeah, it was cool.
Did you give the shout out to the pod?
Oh, he introduced me. He said Kingsburg assistant and co-host of the Fantasy Football Dudes. So
nice.
Yeah.
Street cred, baby.
Downloads are probably going to go through the roof now. And if you are a guy who listens only on podcasts, recommend go check us out on podcasts or on YouTube, guys. Give us the like and the subscribe. Come look at Seth cramp up like a 13-year-old girl. That's always kind of fun and more. But
that was debilitating, man. Like that was like that like handicapped me for a second.
Hey, I'm not judging.
It was like anything else? It's like one of those ones that curls up to like the bottom of your cheek, like it was my whole hamstring.
Yeah. I'm sure people who are listening to this are just loving that conversation. Seth, so we've had a wild week. I guess I've probably had the least exciting week. We had a guy who was almost not on the podcast this week because he almost had a serious injury. Trent, I want to hear a little bit more from you. What happened to you? Are you okay? Do you have it?
Give us a thumbs up, Trent.
Give us a thumbs up with your good hand. All right.
There it is.
I'm looking at it on YouTube.
I had a little running with the chainsaw, chopping some firewood. I'm okay. 3 stitches, but we're good. Thumbs up, double thumbs up. Very fortunate. Yeah.
Do you actually have to go to the hospital for 3? Like if something only takes 3 stitches, do you really need to get the stitches?
Maybe not. But what happened, Jordan, was I cut myself with the chainsaw. It went into my thumb, and I looked at it and I saw white. So I immediately thought it was
that's
my
fair.
bone. I immediately
fair.
thought it was my bone. So my wife's like, hey, is it bad? And I said, I saw white. If I look again, I might pass out. And she said, okay, get in the car. So she gave me because I'm like, if I pass out in my backyard, then how am I getting there? Then it's an ambulance and all kinds of other stuff. So
how'd you cover it? What'd you cover it with so you didn't look?
she gave me a kitchen towel.
So was it actually bone or not bone?
It wasn't bone. No, it was not bone.
Wait.
The doctor said that white stuff is called fat, and you'll probably have no problem getting that back. So we're good to go. So
Can I?
So for what it's worth, Trent probably didn't need the stitches.
No,
maybe
but 3's
not.
pretty significant though. Like that's
Is
not,
it
like
I don't.
I have
don't
one
know.
on the inside of my hand and 2 on my bottom knuckle.
It's
So,
I would say if anytime you have to get stitches, I remember I got slid into this dummy was rounding third base and we were just like we were doing drills blocking the plate, but the guy wasn't supposed to slide. It was just getting timing down to block the plate, right? Well, this Yahoo decides to slide cleats up, and I had already had beef with the kid, and so I got extremely mad at him. I was like 15-year-olds. We were at 15-year-old all-star practice. I was like, what are you doing? Just started lighting him up. Well, my leg keeps hurting. So at the end of practice, I look down at my baseball pants and I just have blood gushing down. When he spiked me, my whole leg was opened up. And so I was like, hey, Dad, I think I need stitches. Like someone needs to pick me up. And so I think either sent him a picture or he got there and he's like, yeah, we don't need to stitch that up. Let's just get some hot glue. And I'm like, we're not hot gluing my leg in the parking lot of the high school. Like, it's very obvious that I need stitches. I think I had to get like 10 stitches. And the guy was trying to hot glue my leg, and he would have done it too. Like, shout out to my dad. But he was like, no, not hot glue.
he's like, stop being a pansy, Phil.
Super glue.
Yeah.
Super glue.
Super
Hot
glue. He
glue
was like,
sounds
that'd be so
terrible.
cool. He's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
hey man, we're just gonna carterize this thing.
he's like,
been
he's
so
like,
cool.
honestly, I've seen worse. I think we could just super glue this thing shut. And I'm like, I think we need to go to the doc. And I ended up getting like, I don't know, maybe like 8 or some stitches. It was bad. I also, another finger story. One of my buddies, an old coach, cut his finger off, cutting firewood, and or like the tip of his finger off. And so when he went into the hospital room, the nurse was like in shock of the whole situation. She put the blood pressure thing on the hand that cut his finger off. And he said blood was just spraying everywhere in the hospital room.
Oh, Phil.
Yeah, because it's pushing. Oh, that is like.
Why did he say something? Why wouldn't he be like, that doesn't seem right?
I guess
Well, I mean,
maybe
he
if you're-
also go ahead, Seth.
I guess maybe if you're thinking about it, like really, it's like, yeah, you think about it, it's like, yeah, that's dumb, but I don't know, like maybe in the moment you're just like letting him do what you think is procedure. So like
Yeah.
maybe you thought it was procedure, you put it on that arm, but really you don't realize that thing's like actually forcing blood away from the area. So like that's funny.
Yeah, he said he was just spraying everywhere. So anyhow, you're okay, right though, Trent?
I'm okay. You know, I'm good. And as soon as I got in the car, I was like, hey, I think I need I was like, I need to go to the doctor. But then we started driving. I'm like, I can feel my finger, my middle finger, my thumb, and my hand. I think I'm good. So I've super glued stuff before, and it's usually like I end up dealing with it for like 2 weeks, like redoing it. It works, but
why did you get wheelchaired out of the place? That's what I was confused about.
You're so dumb.
I don't know. He had some
I'm glad
routine
you-
checkup I heard about too. I don't know.
The only guy.
All right, guys. Oh, well, if all this non-football talk's putting you to sleep, head over to Sleeper, the dude's favorite place to play fantasy sports, guys. Sleeper is the best place to take your league with this offseason. Transition your league over there, guys. You can 100 times your money today with Sleeper's new dynamic payouts. New users use code DUDES100. They will match you up to $500. Switch your whole league to Sleeper today. Ran a listener of the pod, and his name was Aaron, not to be mistaken with Karen, but he just said that he feels he wasted so many years in caveman leagues like ESPN and Yahoo. So another shout out to listener of the pod, Aaron. All right, guys, let's break this huddle. Let's get into some news and notes. We've had some really big stuff happen in the NFL in the last, 5 hours. You know, Jim Harbaugh's going to the Chargers, so I don't know what's your initial thought thinking that, Jordan, with Jim Harbaugh?
He'll be fired in 3 years.
You think so?
I don't know. Like, I don't think Jim Harbaugh. I just think it's a tough situation. Like, you tell me who's won with the Chargers.
Exactly.
So like, I mean,
yeah.
So am I wrong by saying there's a decent chance that he's probably not there in 4 years? Like, the track record of coaching the Chargers would say that. So, like, I don't know. It seems like it's a tough place to kind of win, and Herbert's good, but like, I feel like Harbaugh, maybe, I know he was good with like Andrew Luck and stuff at Stanford, and he's with who's his quarterback with the Niners?
Kaepernick.
Yeah, I mean,
was he there for Alex Smith a little bit too?
Yes,
he was there.
I believe so.
Yeah, I mean, his quarterbacks at Michigan always weren't good, so like, I feel like he built his success at Michigan based on kind of running game, and I don't know, like, maybe they're good. I don't trust the Chargers to be good.
Run the ball. That's a good point.
Yeah, they don't run the ball. Like, Justin Herbert chucks it. So we'll see. Maybe he does well. Maybe he doesn't. I don't know. Like, and he's in the AFC that is going to shoot. Like, the AFC is getting better. Like, you have Stroud now. The Texans are going to be good. You have the Chiefs are always going to be good with Mahomes. The Bills, the Dolphins, like the Ravens, the Bengals when Burrow comes back. Like, I'm optimistic the Jaguars will be good with will figure it out with Trevor Lawrence. Like, it's tough. Like, in his own division, like, you have maybe an improving Raiders team, depends on who their quarterback is. Like, it's just hard. Like, it's a tough conference. There's a lot of good teams.
I don't completely disagree with you, Jordan, because it's just like, who is the Chargers' best coach ever? It's Schottenheimer. You know, that would be who we remember.
He was,
maybe their best coach. Maybe it was that guy who had Dan Fouts. I can't remember. That was before
Norv
my time.
Norv Turner in the last, we're saying going back to the 90s, Norv Turner and Bobby Ross were the most winningest playoff coaches. Both of them went 3-3 in the playoffs.
So like, let's talk about
Bobby Ross,
like 20 years
to 96.
Like, let's talk about in the last 20 in our lifetime, like last 25 years. Like,
Norv Turner,
they're mediocre. They've always been kind of mediocre. Like, have they been in an AFC Championship game in the last 25 years?
Yes.
What year?
They lost with Phillip Rivers to the Patriots. I believe the year the Patriots went undefeated. Phillip Rivers was hobbled. I remember I was watching the game with Phil's brother, and what's his name had a pick six. Cromartie had a pick six in the game, and I kind of thought at the time that maybe Billy Volek might have gave him a better opportunity to win because Rivers, you know, his knee was all messed up. He was out there checking it, but that was probably, I don't know what year that was. I'm pretty sure that was AFC Championship.
Yeah, that was 2007.
Okay. Yeah.
So they've been, they went to, so since 2004, they went to the Super Bowl in 94, went to an AFC Championship in 2007. Other than that, they've never been to an AFC Championship with the team that had what? Drew Brees, Phillip Rivers, like, was one of the best running backs of all time. Like,
Antonio Gates.
They've had one of the best tight ends of all time. Other really good receivers, like who was there? Who was their receivers back in the day when it was like LT Gates and
like Vincent Jackson? Like nothing. No one. They never had like a great alpha wide receiver. I felt like.
Yeah.
They did go to the Super Bowl with Junior Seau.
Seau is how you.
We're talking, but Trent, we're talking 1994. That's when I was born. That was 30 years ago. Yeah. Like, I mean, they
Seau has a Super Bowl with the Patriots, doesn't he? Is that what you're thinking?
No,
of,
they
Trent?
lost.
Did they lose that one?
Yeah, he was ring chasing. I believe he was on that team that was undefeated.
Okay, I thought. Yeah, okay,
maybe he won one. I'm not sure.
I remember them going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. What are your thoughts? Yeah, they did go, I think. Phil, what are your thoughts on Harbaugh? You know, you got a lot of Charger friends in your
family, friends, in my general, some people that I'm in group messages with. I like it. I think Harbaugh finds a way to win. I think there'll be some adversity probably at the beginning, like any other coach, but I think he bounces back. He's got a lot of grit. And I mean, he went from Stanford to the Niners, and the Niners got successful within 3 years of him being there.
Yeah.
Michigan got successful within him being there like 2-3 years, maybe.
Yeah. He was on the hot seat for a little bit though. Like they thought
He
of,
did.
they were talking about firing him.
He lost to Ohio State twice, and then he also lost to Michigan State very early on when he first started there. Do you remember that?
Michigan State was really good then, though.
But I could see, number one, I could see players wanting to play for him. I think he's a player's coach, and I think he's just a smart guy. Like he's been to a Super Bowl. Who was on the Niners when the years that they went to the Super Bowl? It was like Kaepernick. Who else? Who am I missing there?
Vernon Davis, Patrick Willis, Frank Gore.
Was Frank Gore still there?
I believe so. Yeah, I believe he was still part of that. That was back when them and the Seahawks were. Yeah, Crabtree was there. Sorry, receiver like Crabtree. I don't remember who else the receivers were, but he seems like his squads are always competitive. Like, and I don't know if he's the reason his quarterbacks aren't good, or like he did have a decent year with Alex Smith. They beat the Saints in a playoff game, and
yeah, they were pretty good that year.
Yeah, so like, remember there was that bootleg when Alex Smith ran like 40 yards for a touchdown or something. Maybe it was like 30 on like a 3rd and 5 or something.
He took a guy from Nevada Wolfpack to the Super Bowl. Like, I don't know if I think that's what you just have to say when you drop your credentials. Nevada Wolfpack, Super Bowl appearance. Like,
if
I don't
you're
know.
Gonna criticize how I say things, it's Wolfpack, not Wolfpack. So
it's true.
Seth, your thoughts on Harbaugh?
As a kid, like watching football, like I probably got really into football. Like I think it was like right after the Seahawks played the Steelers in their Super Bowl in 2008. That's when I really got into it. I was about like 8, 9 years old. So I really started watching. So I always hated Harbaugh as a kid, and I always made fun of him because of his slacks, how dumb he looked with his slacks and all that different stuff. But I mean, I don't know. Like, it doesn't bother me anymore. At least he's not the Niners coach again. Like, he's the Chargers. Like, it's like one of the teams I care the least about, So, I mean, but I hope the Chargers do good, Like, there's a lot of good teams in the AFC. I hope, he doesn't make him a poverty franchise anymore. Like, it was just embarrassing watching their games this year. Like, they were terrible. So, I don't know. I'm happy for him.
And you don't think, Seth, just this, I guess, is more of a broader question. As a former quarterback, head coach, and now head coach, like, you don't think he helps Herbert? Like, you don't think the mindset helps Herbert going into the season? Like, I think that actually is going to play a big role in how the Chargers perform. Like, him just being, he's not the quarterback coach, but him having the mindset and being able to talk through it with Herbert, not Charger to Charger, but just quarterback to quarterback, going through things. It's a lot of different league, but just the competitive nature that you have to have when you're a quarterback, I think passing that along from a head coach to a player is pretty big. I don't know, maybe I'm playing that up a little bit too much, but that's how I'd feel about it.
I think I view it the same way, yeah.
So don't you think that like Herbert probably had a say in this, right? Like, don't you think Herbert, they kind of consult them a little bit, or no?
I'm sure they did. I would imagine you would.
Yeah, I would think so. Hopefully this, maybe Herbert can bust it open a little bit more and get things, aired out a little bit more. I'm curious to see what happens with Eckler, because Harbaugh kind of likes having like a good running back. I wonder if Eckler comes back. There's a lot of what ifs there, and maybe the defense is a little better. I don't know. Like, I hope the Chargers are better, but like that was the first initial. I thought, like, my wife was kind of excited about the hire too as a Chargers fan, and I just kind of thought, like, it's the Chargers, right?
Well, don't you think the Chargers probably try to draft like a better like offensive line? Like, I think if Harbaugh's committed to running the ball, like, you think they go for some offensive line guys? I mean, I know they had injuries this year. Maybe they just need a good defense. I don't know, but
probably a good defense, and they probably need their first round draft pick from last year to learn how to catch the ball. That probably could help a lot.
I don't know. They have, I'm looking at this is a mock draft done by ESPN. I think it's Mel Kippers actually. And he's projected.
Hold up. Oh my. You've got to be kidding me, Phil.
I'm for it. He has, I'm saying I don't disagree. I don't agree with it. Do you want me to just
wait, Phil. Who said it? Who said it?
Who wrote the piece?
What did you say?
Who wrote
the piece?
Mel Kiper.
Oh my.
Am I pronouncing that wrong? What is going on?
Phil, he's literally like the most famous, like most well-known mock drafter, ESPN guy of all time.
Yes,
like
no. Yeah, what do you want?
Mel Kiper? Like you don't know how to say
Oh.
Mel Kiper? You got to be
I'm calling
kidding
him.
me.
I'm calling him Mel Kipper the rest of my life. That is so good. That's
Well,
gonna
you spell hopping on, hoping on, so I don't feel too. You know what? I don't feel bad about this. Mel Kiper, we're gonna stick with that.
Why?
He has them going after Brock Bowers, which doesn't that
that'd
seem
be
odd?
interesting.
You like that, Trent?
It'd be interesting, right? Like he's a really good tight end. Herbert showed, in the past he's done good with tight ends. Like
Gerald
what's
Everett.
his name? No, the guy Gerald Everett, sure, but the guy on the Patriots this year, Hunter Henry.
Parham.
Yeah, Parham. No, yeah,
Hunter
it's just
Henry.
It's so early to make those guesses on drafts because like Kuiper had Bijan Robinson going to the Cowboys and like all his mocks last year. You know what I'm saying? Like it's hard to say. I think Brock would be a good spot for him. Like I'm not disagreeing with that. Like that might be the best guy available when they draft potentially. Like I don't know.
You don't think they go after a star wide receiver?
No.
I don't know if they'll be available. Like I haven't, to be honest, I haven't looked at like draft boards enough right now.
This is like the deepest wide receiver draft maybe ever, but
yeah,
I don't think they'll take a receiver back-to-back years in the first round.
Yeah,
I think it's better than last year.
It's good, Seth. It's real good. There might be like 6 or 7 guys drafted in the first round.
Yeah.
If you throw like Bowers as like a receiver, like a receiving, it's a really good wide receiver class. It's crazy good.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
I mean, you got Neighbors, Odunze, and Marvin Harrison. Like those three would all be the best in any other class. By like, who was the class last year? It was JSN, Quentin Johnson, Zay Flowers. Is there one more? Or that was the 3?
I think it was the 3 in the first round.
And
Jordan Addison.
Okay.
I'll be honest.
The year before might have been better though, right? 2 years ago.
Who was the year before?
With Wilson, Olave. Who else do they have?
Jameson's in that class. Honestly, I think Neighbors, Odunze, and Marvin Harrison would be the best in any of those classes. And I think those 3 would be the best. Yeah,
you're right.
I guess Olave and Wilson, but like there's a lot of good receivers in this class. It's pretty crazy.
They have the 5th pick.
Yeah, so they maybe could even trade that up with someone. I don't know if someone wants to trade back or whatever.
May depend on what quarterbacks are there.
Yeah,
Troy Franklin too.
It's Seth. We can go. We can talk about that later on a different pod. But like, you can go on and on. Brian Thomas Jr., the guy from North Carolina, I think Tez Johnson. Like, it's a really Tez Walker. Sorry, Tez Johnson went to Oregon, but it's a loaded receiver class.
Yeah, there's a lot, and they got the 2 Texas guys on here.
Yep.
There's a lot.
You have McMillan too from Washington. It's just a really, really good class.
Yeah, Worthy from Texas. A lot of good guys. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. No, you can go on
future pod for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, stick with us all year, guys. We are your home for fantasy football. Every week when we were coming to you live, lots of good stuff. But where there is a lot of good stuff is Trophy Smack. Trophy Smack, the season dust is settled, guys, and the losers have been crowned. Now it's time to ramp up the smack talk and those 3 group texts you're in, Phil. So head over to Trophy Smack, promo code TrophySmack.com/dudes, 15% off your whole entire order, guys. Get that customized trophy. They now have a statue. What is that called when it's of someone's face? A bust? Is that the right term? They have a bust. A statue bust of Patrick Mahomes' face. I'm surprised Jordan hasn't ordered like 4 of those yet, but that is true. And other just some rumors, you can kind of chew on, guys. Think about is rumors that maybe Russell Wilson goes to the Raiders. How would that make you feel, Phil? They go full circle. You'd be a Seahawks fan, Broncos fan, Raiders also. Raiders used to be your team. If Russ went there, how's your fandom change? How's that affect it?
I always have a soft spot in my heart for the Raiders. Like, I just don't think. What'd you say?
I didn't say anything.
Oh, I just don't think him and Pierce get along at all. Like, yeah.
That is a rumor. You know, someone brought that out that maybe Russell Wilson signs with the Raiders this year.
Do you
I
think
would
Antonio
love to
Pierce
just
gets
see the
along with
Raiders fans. Just, I don't know, man.
There's no chance that they sign
You think-
Russell Wilson.
Okay. Just some stuff.
Where do you think Russell Wilson lands, Jordan? I know that he's like your favorite player to talk about in the
On his
offseason.
couch?
There's no way.
I don't know. I don't see why
Well,
teams
if
like
If your boy Bortles can play like 19 years in the NFL, I'm sure someone will find a place.
No, my point is like who? Like why? Why would a team want him as their starting quarterback?
Falcons.
He'd be an upgrade at the Falcons.
But like why not just draft a quarterback?
I think you draft a guy, then you maybe have him. I
But, like,
honestly,
there's
I
gonna
like
be-
what the Packers do. I like how the
With the
Packers
way-
draft quarterbacks and they
There's-
have them sit behind him.
With the way
But there's
Jordan
gonna-
Love has played, it's going to change, I think, a little bit, right, Trent? Like people are opening their eyes. A little bit.
Maybe.
But there's
I-
gonna
I
be
don't-
movement. Like is Kirk Cousins back with the Vikings or does he move? Like there's going to be quarterback movement, and I don't know. I just have a hard time seeing like Russell Wilson like landing somewhere. Like I don't know. I think he's gonna ask for a ton of money that no one's gonna give him. And I just wouldn't be surprised if it's one of those things where he waits out for a good spot, you know? Like he's not going to be in a rush, I don't think.
Yeah. Devontae Adams was, complimenting Kirk Cousins, earlier this week as well, saying he throws a nice ball, finds a way to get receivers the ball. Go check that out. I'm butchering the quote, but he did, so maybe that's a guy that the Raiders go after. Kirk Cousins. That'd be interesting.
The other wild card is if the Bears do draft a quarterback, which I'll be honest, every mock draft I see has the Bears drafting a quarterback. So that means Fields is moving on. Where does Fields go? Fields to the Raiders makes a ton of sense for what it's worth.
That'd be nice. Yeah. If Devontae stays, I think that helps. There's a lot of rumors of, Devontae going back to the Jets, Garrett Wilson changed his number. So 17's open on the New York Jets. I'm pretty sure that happened. I saw that.
Devontae's staying with the Raiders. Like I think Devontae was one.
I believe he changed it to the same number he wore in college.
I mean, Trent, the main reason Antonio Pierce is hired is because of guys like Devontae who were like really vocal about it.
Will Compton, I think, a little bit.
Yeah, Will Compton had a big say in that, I think. Anyways, we'll have some more coach talk here every single week. Next, you want to jump into these games, guys? You guys ready? Phil?
Yeah,
let's
just
news has been broke.
The news has been broken up with the news. There's a lot going on. I mean, go ahead, Trent.
No,
Go ahead, Trent.
Sorry. Well, we do have a message from the Fantasy Dad. Should I do that now, or you want me to wait?
Yeah, usually people. Yeah, go ahead and play it, Trent.
Let the Lions fans speak.
Okay, or we could wait for the Lions.
Or why don't we wait until the Lions game?
It doesn't have a lot to do with the Lions, though. I'll just play it.
What's happening, my dudes? Just wanted to jump in and see how you're doing. Now that the season-long fantasy is over, I had a question for you. I just got myself a sweet Aiden Hutchinson jersey, and since we don't talk about this stuff much during the fantasy season, I'm just curious. Who is each one of your favorite defensive player in the NFL? And any reason why, or you just see them play and like how they play? Talk to you soon, guys.
All right. Favorite defensive players. That was his question. We don't have to talk a ton about this, but I do appreciate, some content for us to talk about on the off season. So you can think long and hard about that. Guys I grew up liking on the defensive side of the ball. I did really, and I wore this jersey because of this. I actually got this jersey today. This is a Roy Williams jersey for the Dallas Cowboys safety. Reason you can't horse collar players anymore. But I got this jersey on eBay for $18. The guy was trying to sell for $50. I lowballed him. It is stitched. Got it for $18. So that was kind of nice. I was just since Phil's whole fiasco with Thomas Rawls, I've been lowballing jerseys on there, and I really did not think I would get this one. So it's a really nice one. Really like it. That was one of the guys I liked as a kid. I liked DeMarcus Ware. I feel like defensive guys, I kind of stick to my own team. I always like Khalil Mack. Man, defensive guys I like right now. I would say that I like Parsons for sure. I like watching Nick Bosa. I like watching pass rushers. I will say, and I like watching TJ Watt. But I really don't buy. I think that's probably my favorite guys to watch right now. Bosa, TJ Watt, and Parsons would be my favorite. I don't know what you guys think. Phil, you got a
No,
Seahawks guy?
Trent, I was going to say the same thing you were going to say, though. Like, I feel like all my favorite defensive players all play for the Jaguars. So I feel like that's kind of like who you like. I love Jalen Ramsey when he came with the Jaguars, when he was on the Jaguars. Like right now, I think Josh Allen's a stud. Like, he's really fun to watch. I like Calais Campbell back in those Jaguar team when he was there. But other guys that I really was a big Brian Dawkins fan. He was really fun to watch on the Eagles. Obviously, like I think we're all kind of Ray Lewis guys. Like Ray Lewis is always really fun to watch. But yeah, I really feel like it.
I like Bland on Dallas, Fresno State guy.
Yeah,
Bland.
Yeah. No, I feel like for some reason you gravitate towards like defensive players on your own team.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, Brian Dawkins was one. I feel like safeties and like pass rushers and corners are kind of the guys, right? Like linebackers, I guess there is some like the Ray Lewises of the world, and was it Brian Urlacher was really fun to watch when we were kids. Those two linebackers were really dominant when we were kids. The Ray Lewis, Brian Urlacher, like those were two like faces of defensive players in the NFL. So
yeah,
I don't know.
I agree
it's
with
not
you.
like
you like I loved Bill Romanowski. I don't approve of all his language that he used, but Bill Romanowski is
Romanowski was so fun to watch.
Such a psycho, like just crazy.
Spitting in people's faces,
spitting in people's faces. Troy Polamalu is just so fun to watch, and he just seemed like a cool dude. I have a Troy Polamalu jersey. That is like the only Steelers jersey that I will wear is a Troy Polamalu jersey. But then you go to Legion of Boom, you got Cam Chancellor, absolute stud. I guess if we're currently playing, although he's still in pretty decent form. Bobby Wagner, straight money, California guy. So yeah, I don't know. Those are my, if I was to get one, I'd probably just get like a random deep cut Byron Maxwell cornerback jersey.
Oh my
deep cut. I like Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald's cool. I like watching defensive tackles that change games. I think I've gravitated towards positions I played that I kind of like watching, or guys I kind of like. Seth's a big Kareem Jackson fan, I believe. Seth, is that right?
Yeah, because I got one. I don't know.
What was that?
Never mind. I was thinking of a different player. Never mind.
Kareem Jackson's the hard hitter on the Broncos. He always gets fined all that money.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a guy from Fresno on the Bears, Jalen Johnson. He's kind of fun to watch. Seth, who defensive players? What are you thinking here?
I mean, like Phil said earlier, Legion of Boom's kind of all the guys I watched. My first Seahawks jersey, I had a Hasselbeck jersey, but like my first new jersey, their new uniforms was a Earl Thomas jersey. Like those guys were just fun to watch. Like I remember watching the game live when he broke Gronkowski's ribs. Like that was such a cool moment. Like I don't know. It was also a similar position to what I played when I was in high school, so I always gravitated to watching those guys. But like I'd love to have a Bobby Wagner jersey. Like that's really cool. But I mean, it's interesting. Like fantasy sports make you watch other players, like offenses, whereas like your defensive players you gravitate towards are usually on your team, where maybe your favorite player in the NFL might not even be on your favorite team.
Yeah. Well, here's a question for you guys off of that question. And thanks, Fancy Dad, for sending this in. Who is your first NFL jersey you ever had? What player? Did you guys remember that?
Maurice Jones-Drew.
Yeah.
Maurice Jones-Drew, Jordan?
Yeah.
Yours was Matt Hasselbeck, Seth?
Yes, sir.
I want to say I used to rep my dad's Gannon jersey, but I don't know if that was mine. I think probably
wedding
Honestly,
present from his father-in-law was a Seahawks jersey.
no, the
Sean
first one that I
Alexander.
repped like as like I think a high schooler, I got the Troy Polamalu. That was probably my first jersey. Troy P. And then I got a Earl Thomas. I have a Russell Wilson jersey, as you guys all know. I was supposed to have a Thomas Rawls jersey, but the guy wouldn't come down 50 cents. So
All right. My first jersey was I had a Deion Sanders Dallas Cowboys jersey. It was my first jersey. So
It's a good one, Trent.
I wish I still had that thing just because I think like my kids would like it or something. Someday, like just those old school Dallas Cowboys jerseys were kind of cool with the like blue sleeves.
Trent, you could probably
the 90s.
honestly buy one. You can probably just buy one.
Yeah,
on
for
eBay.
pretty cheap. But I don't know. This one's kind of cool. It's like the old Thanksgiving throwbacks they wear every once in a while. So I like this one. I feel like I got a really good deal on this. But I think most guys are here for the conference play.
conference
play. So
we should get
into that, Phil.
now. Yes, we have ready. Yeah, the first game is KC versus Baltimore in Baltimore. Baltimore is currently favored by 3.5, and the total is 44.5. Yeah, so this is the 3 p.m. game, EST, I believe, and yeah, so this is the 3 p.m. game, the early game, I guess you could say.
I love the 3 p.m. kickoff. Like, I don't know why the NFL doesn't go towards this time slot every week. Like, have the 12 o'clock or have the 10 o'clock slot, have a 3 o'clock slot, and then have a 5 o'clock. Like, if they did the 10 o'clock slot, then they had the 1 o'clock slot and a 3 o'clock slot. I think it'd be really cool. I don't know why they can't do that. Throw another one in there. But
Trent, this one is 12 PST,
12,
by the way.
12 yeah, 12
it
PST.
is 12. So
Yeah.
so a 10, 12, 3, 5. I think that'd be really cool if the NFL did that.
I think three would be nice, in my opinion.
I think it'd be cool to just throw another slot in there to, switch back and forth, have a little bit more going on. It'd probably ruin a lot of households, marriages and stuff, because it'd just be way more football than what it was, like zero breaks at all. But
Red Zone has already done that, so I don't think that there's
they can't do any more. The damage is done.
Damage has been done.
They'll probably add it, but it'll be like on Peacock only, and you'll have to have like a streaming service, right? But has anyone heard if Mark Andrews is playing in this game? Because I think that's a big deal. I know he almost played last week. I think
he has props. He has a props up, so I would assume he plays.
Yeah, I think I think they announced he's playing today. I think.
Okay. Are there any props that you guys are looking right here on Sleeper or Underdog that we can kind of play with? And while you're looking those up, guys, today's conference preview is brought to you by Manscaped, the dude's favorite place for all of our toiletry needs, guys. Head over to Manscaped, get yourself that new Lawnmower Ultra 2.0. Check it out. It supposedly gets, extremely close, but don't take my word for it. Head over to Manscaped, promo code DUDES20, 20% off your whole entire order, and pick up some of those nice boxers as well. Jordan, what do you got, my man?
I like the Travis Kelce over 61.5 yards. Honestly, the Chiefs offense looks the best they have in a while. And so Mahomes kind of leaned on Kelce, just like, I think the number's too low. He's been at 70. He's been at 71 and 75 last 2 weeks in the playoffs. So yeah, I like the Chiefs. I like the Kelce prop. I think Mahomes over 1.5 passing touchdowns is fine. I don't really love the Pacheco props just because I think this Ravens defense is a little better against the run. But yeah.
Gus Edwards, no touchdowns last week. Do you think he scores a touchdown, or do you think Lamar just keeps running him in?
I mean, it's pretty juiced on the no, like usual, but I don't know.
It is on Underdog. It is a higher percentage payout.
Yeah,
it's 1.25.
So like he got 10 carries last week. Justice Hill got 13 carries, so like he's not even the leading running back. Like, I don't know, but he is probably the goal line back. But also, like, don't you think Lamar's just going to do it himself in the playoffs?
Yeah. What do you guys think about Lamar's like rushing prop? I mean, it's at 64.5. His passing touchdown is 1.5 is juiced. 208 passing yards. That doesn't seem like a lot, but who knows? Maybe they're in the ball the whole game.
Threw for 152 last week. So
yeah.
What do you think? What do you think about? Do you think we get an Odell game at all? His line right now is 20.5 receiving yards.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
That's
really.
one catch.
It can be one
He had-
catch. The problem
He had
is
one
that
target last week.
he had one target for 12 yards. But the thing is that as he's
They ran the
ending
ball the
the
whole
season,
game.
as he's ending the season, his last basically week 14 through week 17, 24, 14, 6.5, 33. And you're right, Trent. It was
So
in one of those games, it was one catch that made that 33 yards. So
he played 30% snaps last week.
Yeah, I don't know if that's good enough.
I mean, Zay Flowers played 82%, Bateman 65%, Aguilar 47%. I don't know exactly what personnel types they were using, but
Yeah, I mean
they ran a lot of
Aguilar more, so
they ran a lot more two tight end. Charlie Kohler played 51%, likely 65%. They're not just going to take
and Andrews is coming back.
Yeah, they're not just going to take Likely off the field, right? He's been too good for them.
He's been good.
So I would imagine there's
They're
a lot
gonna
of
run
two
both
tight end
out there.
sets there.
Yeah.
And they use the fullback quite a bit too. So that also they use Ricard 50% of the time. So there's a lot of it's not just always 3 and 4 wide receiver sets, and Bateman, Aguilar, and Flowers look to be ahead of Odell right now.
Odell is on there to win a ring. That is it.
he wants two. He wants his second. So you don't. What'd you say you liked, Jordan? Did you say you didn't like any? There was nothing you liked on this one.
No, I like the Kelsey prop. I like
right.
the Mahomes over 1.5. I honestly, if you make me take a prop here, I think the rushing touchdown on Lamar, because it's the same odds. Like on Sleeper, it's the same multiplier as the Gus Edwards, or a little bit less, but it's still a 2x multiplier. So,
I think it's more likely he runs one in.
Yeah. I also don't hate I honestly don't hate the likely anytime touchdown at 3.28x on Sleeper, just because with Andrews coming back, I don't know. I like to see what the likely props are. I'm more interested in what the likely props are, just because the numbers might be low with Andrews coming back, and I think they still use likely. I think they will. I mean,
I think I'm right now on Underdog. I'm only seeing likely at a rush reception over on Underdog. For Mark Andrews, his receiving yards is 35.5. That's nothing.
It's low. You just don't know, right? There's a lot of unknown there. What is he limited? Is he playing full snaps? Who knows?
Point. Can I do one that I might just dial up? Justin Tucker, 7.5 points.
I was just literally have him pulled up. Got the Tucker. I can't see. Got the Tucker prop pulled up right there. We're just about to look at that.
I think that one's a no-brainer, honestly. Really, regardless, there's been games when they've scored a bunch of points and he's cleared it, and then there's been games when they just need him to 3 field goals, right?
Or 2 field goals and 2 extra points, right? So
yeah, I think it gets you there.
What do you guys think about this one though? He has 1.5 field goals or 7.5 kicking points.
Ooh.
Where's that one, Seth? I don't have that one.
That's on Underdog. Underdog has 101.5 field goal and 7.5 kicking points.
Yeah, my favorite thing about Underdog, guys, it's simple, it's fast, it's fun. Get 5 picks right, and you'll 20 times your money, guys. Pick them, watch them, win them. Also, go over to Rivals. Read us just a couple Rivals right there, Seth, for a new guy out there. But while you're over there at Underdog, enter promo code DUDES. They'll match up to $100. What's a couple Rivals? Just give us some examples of Rivals. My favorite thing with Underdog, it's super easy, guys. But what's a Rival example?
I think there's one with... Let me see here. There might be one with Mahomes.
Rushing yards, Isaiah Pacheco versus Lamar Jackson, 2.5 adjustment for Lamar.
Yeah, here's one. There's a pass and rush yards for Mahomes versus Lamar. Mahomes has a 5.5 adjustment. So, I mean, that means he starts the game off with 5.5 passing rush yards, and then Lamar, you combine them. I mean, I think personally, if we think the Ravens are going to win this game, I think Mahomes passes up Lamar for pass and rush yards combined. I mean, Lamar combined last week only combined for 252 total. So, I guess it depends on how you think the game's going to go. I think Mahomes easily beats Lamar in total yards, if that makes sense.
This Ravens defense is good, though, guys. This is a tough defense. They've led the NFL, I believe, in every defensive category, basically. Like they are
Especially
very
against
good
quarterbacks,
defense.
they're really good. Yeah.
Yeah. And, Mahomes looked the best he's looked all year last year, but he basically was playing against a practice squad defense. Like they had guys coming off the couch. Like that defense, the Bills defense was banged up, right? Is that not true, Jordan? Do they not have guys that like
Sure,
cancel
but, like,
vacations?
I mean,
Is that
okay.
true? Do you disagree
sure,
with that?
but like, I don't know, like who,
That's
like
like
AJ
insulting
Klein,
his
like
spouse, Trent. Come on.
I don't know, like
I thought I heard that a
it's just
couple
like
Bills had a bunch of
I
guys
know,
not
but
playing that
now
game.
you're finding reasons for why Patrick Mahomes was good instead of just being like Patrick Mahomes is good, like
No, I think Patrick Mahomes is good. You're going against a couch defense, versus the number one defense in the league, though, at home.
okay. So let's look at the Ravens. The last couple games they've played. So
They
they
just
gave
helped
up.
shut out the Texans, other than a punt return.
Okay, what about about 6 weeks ago they gave up 31 points to the Rams at home.
Okay, that's true. That was 6 weeks ago, though.
mean-
What's their next closest one? The Dolphins. They beat those guys.
they gave
give up some points.
They gave up 255 yards. Pretty kind of sucked in that game.
Yeah, they.
Yeah,
shut
I mean,
the
I'm
Niners.
not like.
I'm just
don't
saying, this is a hot defense.
Yeah, I mean,
Jordan's
don't
like
know.
looking up at his Patrick Mahomes bust trying to find an excuse.
I just think you're trying to compare like CJ Stroud and Patrick Mahomes. Like, I don't know. Like, it's a whole different ball game. Like,
I agree with that. But what I'm saying is this defense has been really good all year. Like this is a very good defense. This will be
they're good.
What's the total again, Phil? What did you say?
The total I believe was 45.5. Give me 1 second here.
44.
44. Yeah, it's 44.5.
Ravens are still favored by 3.5.
They're still favored by 3.5. Correct.
Like, I think it goes under probably.
That's kind of what I'm kind of.
I think the Chiefs defense is also good. Like, I think they're both defenses are good. So, I mean, I don't know. It's going to be a great game. Like, I feel less confident in how points are scored in this game than probably the next game. Because there's no clear advantage, right? Like there's no clear, both defenses are pretty solid. But also you have two of the most dynamic quarterbacks in the league. So it's hard. Like, and I think I trust the Chiefs run game a little bit more than the Ravens, especially by the running backs. Pacheco is running really hard right now.
Yeah.
And then like the Ravens and the Chiefs wide, like receiving kind of options are very similar, right? Like we get an just come back from the IR, Mark Andrews. Like I'm going to take Kelsey over that. Rashee Rice and Zay Flowers, both rookie wide receivers. And then you got a bunch of like back end guys on the receiving corps who are just kind of whatever. So,
what's the stuff that's been said about the ref in this game too? Have you seen that? That like when this ref that's officiating this game refs that the home team loses, the home team only wins 40% of the time. Have you seen that? This ref is like not very favorable towards home teams. So, there's your
so get ready for Mahomes. Get every call possible, Trent.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. There you go, right there. Roquan Smith. I think it's going to be a fun one. You have the ref narrative there. Taylor Swift's probably going to be there. This isn't our prop show, but like if the prop show, we have the prop show coming out soon, guys. So hang on for that one. If the prop show comes out, will there be a prop? Will Jason Kelsey take his shirt off for the week of the Super Bowl if he's at the game?
He will definitely be at the game. Yeah. I don't know. I think,
Trent, we should all want the Chiefs to win because the props are going to be way better if you have Taylor Swift in the building. There's going to be a lot more
better.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot more fun ones,
As much as the Taylor Swift,
you don't need any more. Jordan doesn't need any more incentive to want the Chiefs to win. Like, don't try and
if the Chiefs are there, she'll probably join the halftime show.
Oh, good point, Seth. Good point.
Who's the halftime guy? Who is it this year?
Eminem if the Lions win, and no, it's
Reba if the Kansas.
I think Reba is playing regardless. I think you're right about that one, Trent.
No. As much as I don't like, the Patrick Mahomes and Taylor Swift stuff, anytime I make a YouTube short with them, it really does help the pod, unfortunately. So sorry, guys. If you haven't subscribed to us on YouTube, guys, we are at the 470 mark, trying to get to 500 still. And then from 500, we'll just keep going, going for the moon. But the Taylor Swift stuff. Yeah, the props will be wild if Taylor Swift is there. You're absolutely right, Jordan. So I'm going to go Ravens. I'm going to go home team. I went home team last week. That was a good game, And, we haven't done Divas in a while, but stinking TikTok took my reel down that was going crazy because I was making fun of Patrick Mahomes for complaining about snowballs being thrown at him. So I really have a bone to pick with Patrick Mahomes.
No way.
Yeah.
Yes. The video that's on YouTube about Patrick Mahomes, running towards the fans, getting snowballs thrown at him. TikTok said that, was against their community guidelines, So anyways, Patrick Mahomes is pulling the strings there.
Thing I've ever heard.
Probably the ref is the guy who, flagged it. But I'm going
Trent
Ravens. What are you going,
meant he had his shirt off. He was pulling a Jason Kelsey. It was a Jason Kelsey vid.
Basically.
Who do you
Trent
got reenacting it?
Exactly. It was Trent reenacting the Jason Kelsey vid against
his back window.
Yeah, and Seth was pretending to be Taylor Swift.
I am taking slow down. You know who I'm taking. Ravens.
I got Chiefs.
Yeah, obvious.
Yeah, what do we got next, Phil?
Tell us something we don't know. Am I right?
You guys have picked against the Chiefs both weeks, and what happened?
Hey, all I'm saying is a friend of ours is on the Ravens, and if the Ravens win a Super Bowl, he gets a ring. Okay, that's huge.
Seriously, Jordan, we could have a Super Bowl champ on this pod, and you're
the
going.
Guy I played football with could have a Super Bowl ring.
That would be pretty cool.
Insane. Yeah,
Jordan hates that.
So no, now I'm in a win-win. If the Chiefs win, I pick the Chiefs. If the Ravens win, I'll root for the Ravens because there's someone from Kingsburg in the game. You knuckleheads are all going to be like, oh, crap, when the Lions beat the Niners and it's the Lions-Ravens, then what are you going to do, Phil? You're still going to be like, oh, yeah.
Oh, cheer for the Lions, of
exactly. So
here's the problem. Jordan gets 15 minutes of airtime, and then he starts calling us knuckleheads and just starting saying mean remarks to us, man. Fame does a lot of weird things to people,
Phil.
Hurt people. Fame changes people. This guy's, it's crazy how, like I said, 15 minutes of fame, and this guy's, trying to drag my name through the mud. All right, moving on here. We are going to the Lions at the Niners. This game's happening in Santa Clara, baby. It's going to be 62 degrees and overcast. Seth, you went out to Santa Clara. Looks like an absolute beaut of a stadium. You were sitting pretty close. I was like, man, this looks like a cool stadium. Did you any comments before I dive into this game? Cool stadium?
Is with the similar weather when I went. Really nice football weather. It's going to be a nice game. Should be perfect conditions. If anything, it might be a little rainy because we have been experiencing California a decent amount of rain over the past few days, and I think it's going to keep coming off the West Coast. So potentially could be rain in Santa Clara, which could be a disaster. I think maybe for both teams because maybe more for Purdy. But I mean, the Lions do play in weather because they play with other teams who play in weather, even though they play in a dome. So I don't know. I'm hoping it's going to be a complete offensive game just for props sake. But I mean, who knows? This could be a battle.
So as of right now, there's a 6% chance of rain in Santa Clara. So on Sunday,
6 or 60?
6%.
Okay.
So partly cloudy, should be nice.
Should be a nice game. Yep.
70 degrees.
Yeah. Weatherman hasn't been great in our area as of late, though.
They've been wrong.
I will say. Yeah.
You guys want to know what's crazy? You can get tickets to this game for $492.
Doesn't seem as bad as
that doesn't seem that bad.
It does.
Yeah, I was talking to I know someone going the game. They have their season ticket holders, so they kind of got priority. And I don't know where's that at? Where in the section or stadium is that?
They're not great seats. But
I know the seats that he told me that they usually paid like $400 for them, $450, and they resell for like they're reselling. People are reselling them in that section for like $700 to $800, which still isn't that bad because that's like what I paid for a World Series ticket. And to be honest, like to go to an NFC Championship game is probably equivalent for an NFC Championship football game, probably equivalent to a World Series game.
Series ticket. Yeah. Because the NFL Super Bowl ticket is crazy expensive.
It's
so
ridiculous. So you can't even go.
The other thing, I mean, to Seth's point, you're going to have great weather. It's going to be an awesome atmosphere outside the fact that you're in Niner territory. To see the Lions play would be pretty sweet for $492. Who knows, man? I might take up a paper route between now and then and see if I can go.
There.
You think so, Seth? I don't. You think
Trent,
so, Phil? Like
Trent, they just won a playoff game in a long time.
Yeah, they're probably
people that travel.
And honestly, Trent, the drive's not like impossible either.
What is the
not
drive
from Detroit? You're talking about
it's not
it's going to be a 2-day road trip, but like it's not horrible.
Think people are flying, Jordan.
All right, you've lost me now, Jordan.
Trent or Jordan, come on.
With gas prices, it's not a fun drive. In weather with snow, all that stuff, it's not a fun drive.
Forget about the snow. You're right.
Yeah,
it's like a day and a half. I've driven about the snow.
Like swamped in
snow. I've been a part of that drive kind of in the summer, but yeah, you're right. In the snow, it's a little. I forget about the weather, but
yeah.
But if but my point to that would be if you did drive and you rented a van and you took 12 people in the van, it'd be cheaper to drive than fly.
Yeah, that's true.
You took 12, yeah.
There might only be 12 Lions fans out there, though.
Might be bus. Might stop, Trent.
They're having a watch party.
Like 10 Lion fans probably.
They're having a watch party in Detroit, which seems absolutely awesome.
That might be just as fun, honestly. But
that would be.
I want to do
that
so bad. I want to do a watch party.
That would be. That would be honestly. That would be so cool to go to a watch party. In Detroit, that would be, man.
You could drive in a car with a buddy. If you have a buddy with a van, Phil, just get 12 guys.
I'll hit up 3 people in my group chats. Here's the thing, like Jordan, are you going to buy me tickets to this game? And I'll pay for gas if you buy
tickets, Phil. Like the comeback, I want to say I shouldn't say. So
15 minutes of fame. That's what I'm saying.
Here's the deal, guys. This game, we got a lot on the line. I don't want the 49ers to win. I'm a Cowboys fan. But we have a hot chip challenge on the line, guys. If the 49ers make it to the Super Bowl.
No, that's not the bet. It's win the Super Bowl, Trent.
We need to look we need to look it up.
Win the Super Bowl.
Find it, Jordan. Find it, Jordan.
Okay. We're gonna have to
pretty sure Jordan said they're good enough to make it, not good enough to win.
All I'm saying is that these tickets are reasonable. $450, even if you're sitting in the nosebleeds, it's probably not terrible. Seth, back me. You were at the stadium. Is that probably okay?
Yeah, except I paid like a quarter of that price for like near the side, like near the field.
Yeah, prices. You had good seats. Yeah. Wasn't Trent Williams like telling you stuff while you were?
Yeah.
Yeah, I threw a beverage at him. No, I'm kidding.
Hey, be careful. That'll get you kicked off TikTok, Seth. Throwing stuff at players. Talking about it, not even doing.
Wasn't it Trent Williams who was like flipping off some of the fans? Or am I wrong?
That was Chris Jones who did that this week.
Oh, okay.
I said if the Niners win the Super Bowl, I will do a hot chip live on the pod.
Live on the pod.
We've been wrong for once in our lives. I'll take it. Here's what I will say.
We need to dig into this game and get some props, guys. Phil, don't talk about the ticket prices anymore. You're not going to go
to sleep. So here's the thing. They're playing in Santa Clara. The current total right now is 51. Niners are favored by 7. And let's go. Let's get into it. Like, what are the thoughts here? What are we digging into?
How does Detroit win this game? Purdy has to play bad. Debo, it looks like, isn't playing, which is a huge boost to Detroit. I think I said a couple weeks ago that Detroit I could see being kind of a scary team that could maybe make a playoff run, and everyone mocked me. But that's something, whenever you're
No,
a
not
prophet,
me.
sometimes they make fun of you. Aiden
Not me.
Hutchinson is going to have a big game. If he lines up on the Trent Williams side, that could be a pretty good battle over there. Defense has to bend, not break. And Purdy has to play bad, I guess. Like Purdy did not play good I would say Purdy did not play great in that last game. He had a good drive.
With Debo out, that 69.5 rushing yards. I do like the Aiden Hutchinson's half sack. Like he has gotten a sack in like the last 3 games, I believe. It's hard to not it's hard not to go with that, right? So I think that's 2 just right off the bat in this game that you probably feel pretty good about. McCaffrey at 69.5, which is discounted right now on Sleeper.
He's had 5 sacks in the last 3 games.
Yeah, Aiden Hutchinson's with half a sack, just going over that. I think I feel pretty good about that one. Jordan, is there any others that I can add to this stack here?
George Kittle over 60.5 receiving yards. George, they're going to use Kittle way more in the playoffs, big games. Also, without if Debo doesn't play, you're right, Trent. The fact that they have props up for the Niners makes you think that Debo is not playing.
Yeah.
Ayuk over 5.5 is interesting. This Lions defense just gets shredded by the pass. So I like kind of all the Niners receivers. I think Purdy over 2.5 pass touchdowns is interesting as well for like a higher multiplier type of play. Yeah, I mean on the Lions side, I think I'm just gonna keep playing that Jameson Williams receiving prop, and the Niners defense is it keeps going down. I'll just keep playing it. The Niners secondary is a lot more vulnerable, I feel like, than their run defense. So if you're gonna beat the Niners, it'll be through the air. It's gonna have to be Goff.
Do you like Laporta? I feel like Greenlaw's pretty good on tight ends, covering tight ends.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to look at that, but the guy had 11 targets last week. So
yeah. I don't love Kittle this week, Jordan.
Why?
Kirby Joseph, man, tight end killer.
I mean,
he's bagged 2 tight ends on the season.
Oh,
it's not turf though.
I mean,
he put out Hawkinson and he put out the other guy. What's the other guy's name?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna
Higbee, right?
Oh, Trent. They're gonna if that happens, they'll refund your props anyways on Sleeper and Underdog.
That's true.
So
good thinking.
on Sleeper for sure. I like the St. Brown, the 84.5. Like, especially if the Lions are playing from behind.
He should get there this week.
St. Brown is just gonna get peppered. So
what about the Laporta? What about Laporta 12.5 adjustment on Rivals versus Kittle?
I like Kittle a lot this week, so I don't know. That's tough.
Both of those guys could go off. That could be a very fun rival play, Phil. Or, Kirby, takes him out the first play of the game and, it's just Laporta from there.
I think I might found my
15.
I think I found my favorite prop in this game, Trent.
Hit us.
Okay.
The over 22.5 receiving yards for Jahmyr Gibbs.
Okay, that was pretty similar last week too, right?
I don't know what it was last week, but if they're playing,
last week he had 40. Week before he had 43. I think it's a lock.
Like, do we assume they're playing from behind? If we assume they're playing from behind, Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be in a lot, and they're going to be throwing the ball, and there's going to be dump downs available, and I like that play a lot.
David Montgomery, anytime touchdown, you don't like that?
I just don't like. I don't know.
Rushing D.
What about this one?
No,
what do you guys think about?
Game script.
Yeah, and I will say this: Trent Gibbs
has
had
Craig Reynolds
last
week score a touchdown.
Yeah, Gibbs has had a rushing touchdown, Trent, in like the last 3 games. What do you guys think about this rival though? Jahmyr Gibbs has a 58.5 adjustment in total yards versus McCaffrey. 58.5.
Without Debo, I think I go McCaffrey, right?
It's total yards though, Trent.
You think he out yards?
Okay, think about this. Tampa Bay last week, Gibbs had total 114 yards, and let's say he puts up I don't know if he even puts up 100 total yards, but if we think he's going to receive a lot and have a decent rushing game, this puts him at like 120, the 58.5 adjustment versus McCaffrey. Do you think McCaffrey puts up 150 yards? I mean, maybe, but do you think he beats Gibbs, who has 60 yards on him basically already?
The thing with this night, yeah, I think McCaffrey's going to try to take over in this game. Like the 49ers were in the NFC Championship last year. No Debo. I think there's a really big game plan where CMC is heavily involved right here. That's just
I like
my
the
opinion
ASB
on
anytime
that.
touchdown too. I think that's a good one.
Uh-huh. I like ASB on yards. Usually, I don't know what the yards are. I haven't looked. But I always
84.5.
I always like Amon-Ra on yards. I probably have some Amon-Ra, Laporta stacks with CMC is kind of what I'm thinking, and maybe throw Aiden in there. I don't want to get too greedy though. I think I want to do a 3 play. I don't know if I want to do a 4. I feel like I've been one short way too many times lately. So I think I want to lock this in. Finish the season with a bang. Anything else here? Lions side, Goff. Hopefully, Goff's a Bay Area kid, right? He's Northern California, so this is kind of cool for him returning home.
Cal.
I think I have to go 49ers, guys. I got to go 49ers. But what are you saying, Phil?
No, the you guys, I'm sure everyone's seen it, but there is a reporter who says he's talking to Jared Goff. He's like, you all have a lot of really good players. Goff, thank you. But maybe not viewed as superstar like the 49ers. Goff, all right, never mind.
Yeah.
Goff, how do you not like, if you dislike this Lions team, I don't think you might have the same size heart as the Grinch. If you aren't rooting for this Lions team, you're either a 49ers fan or, you
want me to do a hot chip.
You want Jordan. Yeah, correct. You want Jordan to do a hot chip. It's either one of those, right? This Lions team, man, I wish I could will them to the Super Bowl. I will say, I called this out 2 years ago that how good the Lions were going to be. I was mocked. I was, told that I was, too short, overweight, could barely run a mile, like all these things. And here we are, a game away from the Lions.
Still being told most of those things.
Yeah, I don't know if that was really football related or what it was.
Maybe it was my therapist.
It was like, sorry, that was my doctor. No,
still hasn't heeded the advice, I guess.
Guys, I think we've been going for.
But the Lions, baby, let's go. One pride.
Lions, let's go.
One pride.
Trent.
I got Niners winning, but I'll be rooting for the Lions very, very hard.
Yeah, I'm going. Hey, I'm going Niner gang, bang bang. Everyone says I hate the Niners. Everyone says I hate the Niners. You're not wrong. I made fun of Brock Purdy last Sunday. Niner Empire came after me. I think they thought it was Jordan running the account. That was me. I don't care. Go check out the socials at TFF Dudes. See all that good stuff there. But yeah, I got Niners winning this. I think CMC, Niners defense, it's too much. Sorry to all the Lion hopeful that listen to this pod. It's been a great season. It's been a lot of fun. But sorry, I think this, this happy ending ends this week. And man, can you think of a worse Super Bowl than 49ers Chiefs, guys? How bad would that be?
Why? Why would
literally the two worst franchises ever?
I think
maybe throw the Cowboys in there, and that's good.
What, Phil?
Why do you think?
I may not watch. I might opt out. Like this might be the Super Bowl.
Guys, it'd be like the best Super Bowl. Like, why wouldn't you want? Never mind.
No,
I saw this
Jordan
meme
was leaning into this. I wish he was leaning into this.
What the script writers want versus what we want. You see that right there. There's the path. You got the 49ers and the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, or you got the Lions and Ravens. You see how happy that is on the right?
I want Chiefs Lions. That's what I want.
That'd be a good game.
Okay, I'll take that.
Yeah.
I would take.
I just don't want both of them.
And then we'll see a Patrick Mahomes legacy game in the Super Bowl because of how bad that Lions secondary is. That'd be awesome.
Probably right.
And then just watch Jared Goff tune him up.
Probably. What's his name will come back and save the day. Kadarius Toney will come back and
run like a kickoff return back or something.
All right.
I would love.
So I got Niners.
Lions better win this thing. Come on.
I got Niners. Everyone else got Lions.
I have
Everyone
Niners.
has-
No, I have Niners.
Oh, you have
and
Niners.
I want,
Okay.
I want the Lions to win, but I think the
Yeah.
Niners win.
Should be some good ball though. But anyways, guys, anything else we want to say? Any closing remarks?
Fantasy
let's get out of here.
Dad.
It's gonna be a fun weekend.
Yep, Fantasy Dad, if the Lions win, please make Trent a nasty video. That's all I gotta say.
Yes.
Football related. Phil, what do you got to say?
Or you can make 2 for our other pod.
No words. I have no words. Just end this thing, man. It's going.
All right, guys.
going
Thanks for
hot.
tuning in. We will see you next Thursday, as always, and take care.
This has been another episode of the Fantasy Football Dudes podcast. Remember to rate, review, and follow. For more information, go to www.thefantasyfootballdudes.com. And remember, we are sorry for absolutely nothing.